All right, welcome back to another one of my YouTube videos about bank wrapped rolls of Lincoln cents. For those of you who don't know who I am and what I do, my strength slash forte, I guess you want to call it such, is bank wrapped. Well, not necessarily bank wrapped, but Lincoln cents in general, and I tend to collect nothing but complete rolls of them, and that means that I've had to force myself to learn an awful lot about wrapped rolls because, as most of you know, there's an awful lot of fakes out there in the world. And what I've got here today is a 1952p bank wrapped roll. Not only just bank wrapped, but obviously Batdorf wrapped, as shown here by this V cut to the wrapper. Both ends, nice tight ends. You can see the circular scratch marks around the coin on both ends. That pretty much kind of signifies the fact that this is an incredibly tightly wrapped roll. Back then, actually even today, they're not concerned about whether or not they damage an end coin or not. They're concerned about making sure the rolls are nice and tightly wrapped. Even today, a lot of the third-party services that wrap coins wrap them with Batdorf wrappers. You'll see this signified signature type V to it, and it's because the wrapping machines themselves actually wrap rolls significantly better than say a regular, what we call slanted wrapped roll like this here, where the tends to be a lot looser, on the ends, pinchability, stuff like that. This one here, Batdorfs are always wrapped significantly stronger and tighter. So why am I doing this particular roll? Well, first of all, if you've noticed, my video quality's kind of improved a little bit. I actually played with my video camera a little, and I think I've got it dialed in, which is kind of nice. So we're going to get a chance to open this thing up, see what's inside. I have never, ever, in my entire 35 years of collecting, run across a 1952p Batdorf wrapped roll. This is the only one I have ever seen. This stamp that you see on here actually was an aftermarket stamp, so some collector or coin dealer or something like that, when they got a hold of them, actually wound up stamping with what it was on there. The only stamp that is on here from the bank is obviously the First National Bank of Philadelphia. The 50 pennies and the automatic coin wrapping machine company, which I find kind of interesting because characteristically most Batdorf wrappers, and I want to point this out because it's kind of interesting. You can hear my birds in the background, so I apologize for that. Most Batdorf wrappers actually have the automatic bank coin wrapping machine company in New York on it, but it also says Batdorf patent March 2nd, 1915. On probably 95 to 99% of the ones that I have ever seen, they've always had that Batdorf on there. So what's interesting is this particular one doesn't have that, and I'm not quite sure why, but it's interesting to point out. So let's go ahead and open this, get an opportunity. If you don't know what a Batdorf wrapped roll is, by all means go back to some of my other videos on my YouTube channel and take a look. But my hands are actually a little sweaty at the moment because I'm, believe it or not, a little nervous about this one. I'm hoping that there's some really nice coins in here, but about 90 to 95% of the rolls of Batdorf I open are really nice coins, and about 10% not so much. So let's hope that I've got one of the 90%. So one of the interesting things to remember about Batdorf wrappers is they wrapped the coins tighter and with less paper than a normal slanted wrapper does. They didn't need as much paper. So usually when you go to unwrap a Batdorf wrapper, you will get to the coins very quickly when rolling out a paper. And it's quite interesting, but they tend to be wrapped around the coin a minimal amount of times, maybe once at best. So here we go. These are, I'm going to open this up, see what we get. This particular roll may already be sold depending on what's inside of it here. I'm going to slide that wrapper right out from underneath them. We're going to see what we wind up with in here. So first thing I'm going to notice off the top of my head, making notes as I go along here, coins are all nice and shiny actually throughout the whole roll, even though it's been in a paper wrapper. And that all depends upon the type of paper uh, that was used to wrap an individual roll. I've seen rolls come out where they're nice and shiny like this, and I've seen other rolls come out where they're completely dull and toned. And those are the wrappers that tend to have a little more sulfur in them, in the paper, than these do. So this one doesn't have as much sulfur in it. That's why the coins are nice and shiny on the sides. So let me pull these off to the side and pop a couple of these open. So I'll try and show these to you as I go through. So 1952, those are nice coins. 1952 was a year that we were still in the middle of the Korean War, and the mints were plugging along. 52 was a year that in the Philadelphia Mint that most coins tended to come out very pink in color rather than rosy red or anything like that, and I'm not sure why. And over the years, the coins have tended to be stay that pink color. And if you're a collector, an avid collector of Lincoln Cents, you'll understand what it is that I'm talking about by that pink color. These are a little bit more rosy red. They're not as red as I have seen or could see. But the one thing I am noticing about these, and if I can get it to focus, I will here, they seem to be exceptionally well struck, which is quite interesting. Because characteristically speaking, 52P was not well struck. Now, this has, and it's kind of hard to see if I can get it to focus a little bit, you might be able to see some of the webbing on it. It's kind of hard to see. I'll see if I can find a better example of a webbing. But the webbing from about 1951, 50 even, through about 1955 in Philadelphia, there was this kind of a brown webbing that tended to show up on a lot of coins after the fact. It almost looks like water spots to a certain degree, but it's certainly not. There you go. You can get a chance to see it right down by the word cent and stuff like that. That particular webbing, just so you're aware, actually isn't a carbon spot. It's actually leftover residue from one of the baths that the coins got. Oh, wow. Oh, there's a nice coin. He's got one spot on his cheek. But boy, that's a really nice coin. Well struck, got nice depth, nice color, and the fields are just absolutely crystal clear on that coin. So you get a chance to see kind of what I'm seeing here from that standpoint. So that webbing in the back is exceptionally nice as well. So this is a nice coin. This is a nice roll. I got what I was hoping, which are nice coins. I'm going to go through the rest of them here when I get an opportunity off camera and take a look. But that webbing, to go back and talk a little bit more about that, was a byproduct of that bath that those coins were given. And with some of them, it tended to dry off and you didn't wind up with any spots or anything. And with others, you wound up with exactly what you see on the back of this coin, which looks like somebody wiped it with Windex and didn't bother to dry it back off again, and it basically just kind of stuck. So from that standpoint, that's pretty much about it. I'm going to go through the rest of this roll and take a look. It looks to be pretty decent. It's not perfect. There are definitely some coins here that have some of that webbing and that color to them, but there are others in this roll that I'm looking at here that are just standout, knockout, nice coins in terms of their overall look. So very happy, very pleased. This is a very hard roll, hard date to get in a nice color coin. That's that pink that I'm telling you about that usually is most evident, and that's what you want to kind of avoid. You want more of that rosy, coppery color over the course of these. So I will keep looking it through and look through them again, and if I need to make a second video about finding anything in particular, I will let you know in another video. But I appreciate you guys tuning in and watching. Hopefully you've learned something. And if you need to learn any more or need to send me any messages, by all means, go right ahead and do so. Send them to the video or put the comment in the video below, and we'll try and make sure we answer them. Thanks much, and have a good afternoon.